Good morning, Nigeria. It's Monday, the 11th of August, 2025, and you're watching Daybreak Live Extra right here on Dominion Television. I am Oluwayemi Adelakun.
And I am Samson Balogun. We are glad you are up with us. Your weekday companion for sharp stories, insightful conversations, and a fresh start to your day.
Let's kick off with a quick look at the skies. According to the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, we are in for a mix of sunshine and rain today. Scattered thunderstorms are expected over the north central and parts of the southeast this morning, while the afternoon could bring light to moderate rainfall in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Calabar.
Yes, that's true. Temperatures today will range between 26 to 30 degrees Celsius in the south and 32 to 35 degrees in the north. So it's going to feel warm, especially up north.
Let's set the tone for the morning. Our first gist is both shocking and heartbreaking.
Well,
Honestly.
it is like that. But then, before we go into that, coming up at 7:10, we are bringing you Daybreak News. The top stories you need to know to start your week informed.
And after that, newspaper headlines and analysis will break down the major stories in today's papers and what they mean for you.
And our big story at 8 a.m. takes us into politics, countdown to 2026, early political maneuvering and emerging governorship aspirants in Osun State.
We'll be joined by Jacob Olaoluwa Adesina, historian, researcher, social critic, and former student leader and co-convener of the Youth Vanguard for National Development. He will give us deep insight into what's shaping Osun's political landscape ahead of 2026.
Yes, and finally, we'll wrap up things with Trend Watch, where we scan social media for the stories and moments you can't miss. Yeah.
So get your coffee or whatever powers your Monday morning. Daybreak Live Extra is here, and we're just getting started.
Well, good morning to you.
Good morning,
welcome
Samson.
to Daybreak Live.
Yeah. Welcome to Daybreak.
Good to have you in the studio again.
Yeah.
It's a brand new week, of course.
Definitely.
There are so many things we have to, talk about this morning. So there's a lot to unpack on this show, and of course on this dial today. So if you are just joining us, keep it locked on this dial as we have a lot in stock for you. And do not forget to keep the conversation going. Link up with us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. Yeah, we want to talk about the chief who actually fed a supposed thief poison just because he felt he could take law into his own hands. I mean, that was disgusting to watch. You saw the video.
Of course, yes, I watched the video, and of course the boy actually pleaded for a while, but when you saw that the man is not going to change his mind.
He's not backing down.
And I also read that he stole, I think, corns.
Yeah,
I think two fresh corns. And of course, when the father heard about what happened, I think the father passed, and that's the saddest part of this whole thing, because the father thought he was not going to make it, and then he felt like if his son is not going to be alive again, what is he still doing on earth? So he passed, and he's very sad. And of course, the man has been arrested. Yes, we are not trying to justify stealing, that stealing is okay, but then looking at what the guy did, and of course that kind of punishment that was made, he would have died. Yeah, so I'm wondering if that guy died, how the man is going to feel. I mean, the next, or how he's going to feel about the whole situation when people start mourning for the guy. So we just need to talk about the fact that sometimes we need to be human. I talk about this almost all the time. Yes, what he did is wrong and very wrong. We cannot justify that. But can he be handled in a better manner than how the man handled the matter? Yes, I mean that's a very good answer. If they could have managed the matter, much better. They can even take him to the police station. That is even still better, than trying to feed him poison that could have actually, killed him at the end of the day.
People had a lot of reactions yesterday as regards what happened and why it happened. But the truth of the matter is some people, especially the people who think they are eyes and mighties in the society, really need to know that this is not Banana Republic where anything goes. There is a rule, there is a constitution, and everyone must play by the constitution. So if there's anything that happened, the best thing for you to do at that time is to hand him over to the law enforcement agencies, and then let the law take its course. But for you to now say, oh, the next thing is for you to die just because you stole my property, I mean, that's not going to work in a society like that we currently have. Even though some people think the law does not really work in Nigeria, but it does. It only depends on the angle with which you are looking at it. But in this situation, I just hope that he doesn't get away with what he has done, because indirectly has actually, killed a human being, because the father actually thought the child was going to die, and then probably due to shock, he passed away. And the child eventually made it because he was rushed to an hospital. But feeding a fellow human being poison, I mean, that's totally unacceptable.
And we need to correct this kind of mindset, because, I mean, if someone can actually do that, imagine if that person is paid to harm someone else. What do you make of that? Look at the people that we find, that we call bandits now. It all started from somewhere. They didn't just wake up one morning and say they want to, start killing people. So that mindset, must be corrected.
I mean, to buttress what you have just said, if you could do that in front of a camera, what would it do if there is no camera? If it was just him. So it means that we cannot have that kind of human being in the society. I mean, there is a place where he belongs, and he should be put there, because this is totally unacceptable. I mean, he was even there, and it was being recorded, and it did not budge 1 second. That tells you that is that kind of person whose mind is made up. That kind of mindset cannot be in the society. I mean, it's totally appalling.
I'm afraid about the people who saw that, and then some of them actually feel maybe you can actually do something like that if someone should steal your property. Let me tell you, stealing is very bad. For people that have been in that situation before, maybe someone stole your property, when they catch a thief in your presence, you want to do something, but you just have to caution yourself, regardless of the odds that person caused you. Exactly. You must not resort to maybe feeding someone poison or shooting someone, or maybe doing anything that could actually kill the person outrightly. But then we just need to be human sometimes. Report the person to the police station, and they can take it from there.
I mean, it's not just him, actually. There were people who were there at the time.
And
someone recorded that video, and they could not do anything. They all should be arrested, because they are complicit. I must tell you, because they could have stopped him, regardless of if you are family members. If a family member is doing something wrong, your job at that point is to correct that person and say, look, the law does not allow this. Even humanity does not allow this. So why would you do it?
We don't know the kind of person that this man is in that community. There are some persons that they will call maybe ma for work or mat or something. There are some persons like that even though they are wrong, it becomes difficult for people to come and say, okay, don't do this, don't do that. But regardless of that, they could have called the police. That could have been the best option.
Well, that would be in his community. If he's untouchable in his community, he's not untouchable in Nigeria. Definitely. And of course, he's not untouchable in the state. So regardless of who he is, we've seen people who, even at the corridor of power, being punished for, offenses committed. So if he has done anything wrong, just like he has been arrested, he should be punished to the full length of the law.
So that other persons that watch the video will not see it as the right thing to do should someone steal what belongs to them.
He was being fed. The guy had no choice.
Honestly.
The guy had no choice. I mean, that's totally, for a man to actually say, look, I think this is the end, and just submitted himself to this kind of...
I'm sure he pleaded for a while.
He pleaded for mercy. He tried his best, but the man did not budge. And that tells you that, some people are just adamant. They are so, their mind is so strong that regardless of what they are doing at the time, no matter how hard you try to please them or try to make them change their mind, they are definitely not going to do it.
They're very obstinate. There's nothing you can say. The only thing that can actually make them surrender is if they see law enforcement agency. And that's why I said those people could have actually called the police on the man. I think that would have resolved the whole matter. But then we learn everything. We just hope they can learn from this incident and we don't have a repeat of it.
Of course, I will say thank you for being a part of the show so far this morning. Thank you for joining us. We've got a lot to unpack on this show. As we said earlier, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll take the news. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back.
Ever dreamed of creating the next viral series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV. Make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Ever dreamed of creating the next viral series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class, it's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV, make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Today and take your event to the world, one powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
I had no doubt in my mind that with this collection, we are going to set agenda. More importantly, we are going to enforce social ethics. Because part of the problem of Nigeria is that the state is too powerful and the society is too weak. So when the state begins to misbehave, the weak society has no power to hold them into control. So we begin to do social ethicizing. So we not only report, we will not only inform, we will also set agenda.
Good morning. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I am Oluwayemi Adelakun. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, has restated the federal government's commitment to achieving food security, diversifying the economy, and empowering youth and women through the agricultural value chain. Speaking during a walking visit to the 1,300-hectare Jangwa rice farm in Ayakeke, Awe local government area of Nasarawa State, Kyari said the administration of President Bola Tinubu remains focused on transforming Nigeria's agricultural sector to meet the nation's growing food demand. He noted that the government's agricultural policies aim to close the country's food supply gap, strengthen sustainable food systems, and foster inclusive agricultural development. The National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has provided clarification on the non-issuance of a Certificate of National Service to Corps member Oshirita Guamaye. The NYSC disclosed these in a statement signed by Caroline Embu, Acting Director, Information and Public Relations, describing the information making the rounds on social media as misleading. There are reports that the Corps member was denied a Certificate of National Service due to critical remarks she made about the government. Embu, however, stated that Rita's service year was extended by 2 months for failing to attend the April 2025 biometrics clearance, a decision that aligns with the NYSC bylaws. Government has issued a directive mandating all e-hailing operators to present their vehicles for compulsory inspection in a renewed push to improve safety standards, service quality and regulatory compliance across the industry. Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Osimei announced the policy during an engagement session with e-hailing companies in Ikeja, expressing concern over the deteriorating condition of some vehicles operating on the licensed platforms. He warned that any car found to be unfit would be immediately removed from service. According to CME, the state has observed an increase in safety risk and a decline in service delivery by certain operators. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, Lagos State Branch, has accused the State Treasury Office of introducing a revised medical salary structure, which allegedly prompted deductions from doctors' July 2025 salaries. In a statement issued by its chairman, Dr. Said Kende, the association lamented that the issue remains unresolved despite several interventions. According to the NMA, the revised pay scale implemented by the STO undermines the welfare and professional interests of medical and dental practitioners in government-owned facilities. The association warned that if the deductions are not reversed, Lagos State risks an indefinite doctor strike that could paralyze operations across public hospitals. The Osun State government has called on the federal government to release local government allocations that belong to the state. This appeal was contained in a statement issued by the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Kolapo Alimi. According to the statement, the appeal aligned with the recent Court of Appeal judgment on the state's local government leadership matter. It also cited the hardship the continued seizure was causing communities in their local government areas. In business, the federal government has reviewed plans to boost Nigeria's automotive sector through competency-based training to produce certified quality assurance assessors under the National Skills Qualification Framework. The Director General, National Automotive Design and Development Council, Joseph Osanipe, represented by his Director, Industrial Infrastructure, Dr. Noah Misoya, said this in Abuja. According to the Director General, the initiative aims at equipping trainers who will ensure that automotive technicians across the country meet nationally approved skill standards. Osanipe said the training would focus on areas such as compressed natural gas conversion, maintenance of electric vehicles, and modern diagnostic techniques. In sports, Plateau United goalkeeper Adewale Adeyinka has been suspended from the Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) over betting activities. The NPFL Chief Operating Officer Davidson Oumi confirmed the suspension in a letter to the player and Plateau United. According to the letter, Adeyinka's registration has been put on hold while an investigation is carried out. The suspension follows claims by Plateau United that Adeyinka refused to sign for another club after discovering a contract clause that allowed for immediate termination if he was found guilty of betting offences. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and X at Dominion Cast. That's the break news. I am Oluwayemi Adelakun saying thank you for watching and good morning.
Ever dreamed of creating the next virus series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class, it's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV, make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, thank you for staying with us. I welcome you back. And this is newspaper headlines analysis. And of course, I'll be doing that alone. I have with me Samson, and of course, we'll be doing that together. Welcome on board, Samson.
Yeah, good to be here again to talk about happenings around Nigeria. Yeah. Of course, there are interesting stories on the pages of the newspaper this morning. So just sit back. There's a lot to talk about.
Definitely. Let's start from Salient Times. I have this headline that says, Kwamwon's airport conduct amounts to terrorism in most climes. That's coming from the NCA, and of course we've established the fact that, it cannot even do this outside of the country. So why is it that sometimes we tend to do some things in Nigeria because we feel like we can get away with it? And of course, I think I watched a video over the weekend where, it turned that, I think, exactly, and Nigerians are saying, okay, he has done well, because it's a thing to do something wrong, and it's a thing to actually come back, okay, I've done something wrong. Definitely. So I think we're past that headline. Let's look at one headline that firms the banner headline on Salient Times that says, our 50 armed EFCC operators invaded our premises. That's coming from Olusegun Obasanjo Library. Fired shots threatening to kill. Presidential Library threatens legal action, demands apology. What is going on within the EFCC? Because this is not the first time that this would happen. Yes, they have the legal right to, once they get maybe any information on a particular place, maybe on events, they can go there and of course do their work. But people, members of this organization, Olusegun Obasanjo Library, they've complained bitterly about how these people came in, about 50 armed men, and then they fired shots, threatening to kill. What do you make of this? Because I just read a report that I think a few days ago, maybe yesterday, the FCC also raided another event in Abeokuta, Ogun State. We talked about one, I think, last week. What do you make of all these, activities of the EFCC?
Well, I think as much as people would want to say EFCC are doing, the right thing at this time, yeah, they are doing the right thing. It's their jobs. Once they sniff any form of, activity that really does not align with what the mandate of, the agency, they are, mandated to swoop in and, of course, get things done. But the truth of the matter is the manner and approach with which they actually carry out their responsibilities sometimes breaks the law. And when you look at the current situation, I think OOPL, which belongs to the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, yes. I'm not saying this because that facility belongs to the ex-president. I'm just saying this because, sometimes one of the things you can do to demarcate, a facility like that is for law enforcement agencies to consistently come to your facility and then begin to, arrest who you call your customers. Then other people will be skeptical of coming the next time. But in the real sense of it, who are the people that were arrested? That's the first question. If there are people who have been under watch and the EFCC got an information that they are actually in that building at that time, I think they reserve the right to break into any facility and then arrest notorious criminals if it endangers, the welfare in the country. So
notorious criminals, sorry to quote you, don't you think that's a bit extreme? I mean, it's a library, and of course I read that. I mean, they were aware of that, event going on.
Actually, criminals can hide anywhere. In fact, they do hide in plain sight most of the time. So you find them almost everywhere. But the truth of the matter is, what exactly happened? Was there a warrant to actually get into that facility? The approach, for me, is wrong because according to the report by operatives in the OOPL, they are saying they threatened to kill, they threatened to shoot, and they just broke into the facility.
They fired shots.
They fired shots.
Yes.
They threatened to kill. That's what I wanted to say. So it means that lives of people in that facility at that time was not even safe.
Definitely.
So, and one of the things we have done consistently in Nigeria, especially by law enforcement agencies, is the fact that an average Nigerian will see you and they begin to run away because they feel their lives are not safe. And one of the primary objectives of law enforcement agencies in the country is to make sure lives and properties of Nigerian people are safe. So if you are now the one chasing Nigerians up and down and they feel unsafe around you, then that's the problem. That is why you see people saying they will rather settle things amicably than, go to the police station. They will rather, take law into their own hands than report issues to the police. It is because they have lost faith, they have lost trust in the, the police system, in the structures in place to make sure to uphold the rule of law. And the chances of people regaining that trust is very slim.
Can we begin
because consistently we have seen them even flout and break the law at will. And these are law enforcement agencies.
Can we look at some of the laws that actually guide the activities of the EFCC? I mean, if they continue to do this, I even saw a comment yesterday talking about the story where they raided another party in Abeokuta, and people are beginning to say, is it that Nigerians have no right to actually, organize a party again and just, chill outside, maybe during the weekend or something? Because, I mean, if they can actually do this and there's a law that backs the activities up, I mean, a lot of persons are suffering from this. I made a case of a doctor that was arrested, alongside some other persons that were found, in the bar, and then you could not go to work for days. He was traumatized. I'm very sure from that day, I don't think you have that mindset to say, I want to attend a party again because of his experience. Do you think we should review some of those laws so that, I mean, even if you have an information on a particular place or a particular person, there's a way you go about it?
I think every law, every rule that guides all agencies, parastatals, MDAs, and law enforcement agencies in the country should be subjected to review. Because every now and then we begin to see inconsistencies in their modus operandi, how they operate and what they do. And if that continues, people will be, they won't even know what's right or what's wrong anymore. Right. And that's more tantamount to, breaking the law when you are meant to uphold it. And the problem now, which I see, and I've always said this, is the fact that the police, law enforcement agencies generally, how they operate should be subjected to, review. And that includes if there's an event, do we have the right to even go there and stop that event and then park everyone? Because what gives you the assurance that everyone in that building, belongs to probably any criminal activity or the other. So,
speaking of that, I have this headline on Platform Times that says, arrest of 93 suspected fraudsters. OOPL accuses EFCC of unlawful invasion, demands apology over violent midnight raid. 93 persons were arrested, and these people are demanding for an apology. EFCC, do you think they would, give in to this and of course, apologize?
That's the problem, because I think some agencies in Nigeria, they feel like whatever they have done and nothing will happen. Take, for example, we have seen situations where even cases like these have gone to court and then judgment was given. And then compensate this person until that person died, nothing was done. So it saddens me to see that we are still in the same light after so many years. And other countries, what they do is they evolve, things change. So if there are new things that are happening, they bend their rules and their constitution to suit that particular situation. So what am I saying in essence is they can actually make arrest at that place and not constitute nuisance, and not make people feel like their lives are not safe. But why would you do commando-like kind of operation when you could actually have gone there and say, look, you, we are looking for you, then come with us? I think that should be more the better approach to things. But why pack everyone? Does that mean everyone in that place at that time was a fraudster? Does that mean that everyone in that place is a criminal in one way or the other? So it's a problem that needs to be solved. And if EFCC is not checked at this time, and what baffles me is that if to say that the way these operations are being carried out, you will see result that this person was eventually, prosecuted, and also things were, taken from this person, or probably, we arrested a fraudster, and then this money that was recouped from this fraudster was returned to the rightful owner, and you consistently see that probably people will not look in that direction, or they will feel, they are doing the right thing. But then, all these arrests, they are made thousands of arrests. So how many of these arrests has actually resulted, in getting these monies back and giving it back to the rightful owner?
But
we're not seeing the results.
EFCC will always say that, due to the activities, they've been able to reduce the issue of fraudsters, Yahoo guys across the country. Do you agree?
No, they have not been able to do that. We have consistently seen guys, as we speak, some guys are just starting this fraud system. They are just starting their own business. So what have they reduced? I have not seen the reduction. But the truth of the matter is, if you truly want to reduce this act, there are ways to go about it. And it's not just about busting doors open, raising guns at people, pointing guns at people, shooting sporadically. That's not unlike, an agency that knows exactly what they want to do. Now, you can fight these people with the law. Once you have arrested you, there is no bribery, there is no corruption. All you have to do is every penny that you have collected, you pay back.
That's the problem, because we've seen cases whereby some Yahoo guys were arrested and they were able to pay their way through out of it because of the money. The system is corrupt.
It's corrupt. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said if we are seeing the results, like, we have arrested these people and we were able to get also amount of money from them, which has been returned back to the rightful owners, people will not really say much about this. But the problem is that I learned that some Yahoo boys, fraudsters as they will call it, internet fraudsters, they have some police officers, they have some EFCC officials on their payroll. So they already know, we are coming to so place to raid. The so-called person they are looking for will not even be there. But then, that is sabotage of the effort of, well-meaning officials who actually want to do their job. But there are bad eggs in every organization, in every society, and of course in every parastatal MDAs and agencies. So it's a challenge. And if we can flush the system, flush these people who are actually, working hand in hand with these fraudsters, with these criminals, if we can flush them out of the system, I think the world will be a better place. Even Nigeria will be a better place to live. And of course, the police force also. I don't know how they want to go about it directly, but the truth of the matter is, when it comes to recruitment, you don't just recruit because people they can't find a job and then they ultimately have to be a police officer. No, they can't find a job and then the next thing to do is to be an EFCC official. No, but then it has to be based on passion, based on what I have always wanted to do. We have seen people who have no business being police officers and you find them there. Go and check the hierarchy, and then you will see people with pot bellies here and there.
Some
and
people
you begin to ask
the issue of...
See, if anything happens now and you have to chase a criminal, will you be able to do it?
Some people have linked it to the issue of unemployment in the country. So when they are in a situation whereby they can't even find any other job,
and then the next place to do is to become a police officer.
Is to join fine. You know.
I mean,
let's also talk about the fact that there are some persons that they just came out of maybe a crime situation and then they venture into that sector. Have you seen cases like that? They venture into that sector.
Of course.
And so these are the issues. So they compound, and at the end of the day, we complain about the fact that we have too much of bad eggs. I mean, in the police sector. Away from that, let's talk about this, because the EFCC chairman, you know, said something very critical. He said he noticed that some Yahoo boys actually, you know, they work for some, you know, corrupt politicians who launder money. So he said that he's trying to make sure that, you know, through the Yahoo boys, they can actually get through to some top politicians in the country who launder money. How effective is that?
You think that will work?
No, how effective is that?
Honestly, that's a ridiculous approach to, you know, finding criminals within the political system. That's a ridiculous approach. I'm totally against that, because that's more or less like empowering Yahoo boys to work against their paymasters, which in the long run, hands will touch hand, and then you will not hear anything again about it. See, it's not difficult to know that this is a corrupt politician.
Okay.
From White Elephant Project to borrowings, that needless borrowings, you will know that this politician is corrupt. But the thing is, will they actually prosecute that corrupt politician? That's the problem. I will cite instances. Yaya Bello has been running around for a long time. Are you telling me that EFCC does not know where Yaya Bello is? Not just Yaya Bello, we have seen corrupt politicians who have actually left office and nothing is done. And one thing they do, immediately they are done with their 8 years, 4 years, whatever it is they have done, is that they cement their position in the political landscape by getting another appointment. So that's why you see them aligning and realigning to make sure that they belong to the power block in the political arena. And the problem will continue to persist if we do not have ideology. So you don't
think it's an issue of appointment rather than election? Because when you get to that power through some persons, sometimes you're bound to, you know, listen to them in some certain matters. So I think we discussed a topic around that, appointment of these people instead of election. So because of that, I mean, a lot of them, we've seen a lot of EFCC chairmen, you know, that were puppets, so to say, in the hands of those that elected them. So it's an issue. So when we begin to look at the cracks within the EFCC,
selected prosecution.
Exactly. So I think
it's one thing to look at. And then it's actually disastrous to realize the fact that the EFCC and some other agencies, they are more or less like tools in the hands of political jobbers who would use the EFCC to fight an opposition. Yeah. And then the height of it all was when former APC chairman Adams Oshiomhole, Senator Adams Oshiomhole, came out to say, look, if you have joined the APC, your sins are forgiven. Not just the APC, it has always been like that. So it's not just about the APC. It has consistently been like that since this new republic started. So if you belong to a political party and you realize the ruling party, it means that your sins are forgiven, and then you will not be under much witch-hunt. I will cite an instance. When President Olusegun Obasanjo was president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria now, which is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Bola Tinubu, used to be governor of Lagos State. Yeah. And then he was victimized. Why? Because it does not belong to the power at the top. And that is why you see governors in your states now moving from their political party, which actually won them that election, to the ruling party, which is the All Progressives Congress. And this is not, it's not starting today. It has always been like that.
So do you think this is political?
Aligning. They will say, oh, for us to bring, you know, the largesse, you know, from the center to our state, we have to belong to the ruling party. And that's a lie. Because nothing will stop your political party or your governor or your state from getting what is rightfully theirs from the federal allocation, you know, from the FEC, because they all attend the FEC. And you have anything to tender, oh, we want this in my state, you see that you go through your rep, or you go through your senators who are going to tender those bills on the floor of the House, and if it scales all the readings and then gets presidential accents after being passed on the floor of the House, then you are going to get that project. So why do you have to move from your political party to another political party? And the problem now is the ruling party also. They use that opportunity to make sure that they frustrate, you know, people from the minority political parties. Let's say, for example, you belong to Labour Party and you are on the floor of the House. You might not get a chance to talk because you do not belong to their political party. And when you are frustrated to an extent, you want to join them. If you cannot beat them, you join them. And we have to forego that mentality, because no country grows with that kind of idea.
Okay, the way I see this thing is, okay, maybe there are some underground benefits that these people enjoy that maybe it might not be so open to us, because look at Governor Eno Himo, that jump ship to another party. He said basically that he wants to move to the party so that it can align with the central. So maybe exactly. So don't you think there must be something that is enjoying or is going to enjoy for him to have moved? Because PDP made sure he won the election. You won the election and moved to another party. Don't you think?
When you talk about things they enjoy, that
might not be open
is
to
not
us.
Clear to everyone. For example, if you belong to opposition party in your state, when they are picking ministers, you don't get to pick because you will not be able to nominate. So the ruling party will nominate someone in your state as minister. So that means that you and the minister might not even be on the same page.
Definitely.
That is one. Two, when appointments and projects are coming, contractors for that project will be picked from people at the center, meaning that you won't even have a say on projects going on in your state. So everyone wants to be a part of where it's happening. They want to, just like there's a party going on somewhere close to your house.
So there are benefits.
You want to be a part of the party. You want to have, there's a buffet, and then you want to be there. Automatically, before you go there, you know that, oh, I'm going there to join them. You want to be a part of, you want to also enjoy the buffet. So automatically, you are joining them. That means that you want to eat. And people who eat, they must have table manners.
So that's the problem. So to curb this issue of, a political party will bring you to power and then you will leave the party after a few months. All these opposition parties must make sure that, if this party should make sure that you win the election, you have to stay in that party until you're done serving the country.
Now, that will not be possible. There is a lacuna in the Constitution, of course, in the electoral law, that says that if there's a crack within your political party, you can move to another political party.
And that's the problem.
And then, before they move, they create a lacuna by themselves.
It's a problem.
So there is a gap to be filled. And that is when the Constitution is reviewed, that says, look, regardless of what is happening in your party, you must finish your 4-year term or tenure in that political party that brought you in, unless that party ceases to exist.
And you're not even allowed to be anti-party.
You cannot see
what happened in 2023. People contested or maybe openly supported another candidate of another political party because they felt like there's nothing will happen.
Actually, the Nigerian Constitution, the electoral law, does not frown at political parties adopting another political party, especially at the center. Let's say there is an AAA political party in Oyo State, and then they feel like, oh, we don't have a candidate at the center. Oh, we are aligning with his ideals and goals, so we want our people to vote for him in the forthcoming election. So it is possible. It is, entrenched in the Nigerian Constitution, so there is nothing they can do about that one.
I think there's something they can do about it.
Unless it is reviewed.
We are on constitutional review, and then I think they should work on that if they want to change.
People can always adopt candidates, and as long as the people do not have, what it takes to be individual candidates, in the current electoral law, I think that is what should be reviewed. People should start voting for people based on what they stand for. Let's say, for example, Atiku Abubakar wants to contest to be president today. He doesn't have to belong to a political party. His name can be on the ballot. But then,
I think political parties created in the country for order. Because regardless of the fact that, you have your own personality, if you run, as an independent person, we might have issues. Because, who are those that will actually come to the aid of the country, should you misbehave or do things that are not quite okay? So I think that's why we have the political party as a major structure that can actually follow through your activities. You
are right. But if that is going to happen, there will be constitutions, rules that also guide individual candidates. Look, if you are not doing what the people have asked you to do, so number of people can impeach you from the floor of the house. It's simple. See, for every go, there is a come. For these things work hand in hand, and the Constitution is not blind to any of this, unless there is no Constitution that cares or caters for that particular thing you are talking about. Yeah. But the chances of all these things happening are very, very slim. Why I'm saying that is because when you see them sit on the floor of the house, I personally do not believe they are doing that because they love Nigerian people. No. For everything, Nigerian people will enjoy that, skills through readings on the floor of the house and eventually gets passed and then goes to accent. There are things that will also benefit them. And if it doesn't, it will not see the light of the day. Take, for example, when we talk about laws that has to do with corruption, most times it favors them because they are in control. Most of them nominated members of officers. You see them when there is time for recruitment into MDAs, parastatals, you see that rep members have slots. Senators have slots. Vice presidents have slots. Everyone has slots. In fact, slots are sent down to local government level. So automatically you have a person who has your interest in every MDA, parastatal, everywhere. So they are planting, a seed which will germinate. Let's say, for example, today I am a politician, and then I've been given a slot to bring in an EFCC official or maybe into the DSS. I'm going to nominate someone I know is loyal to me. Once that is done, in the near future, anything can happen. And then I need the assistance of such person to compromise on my behalf. That person will always think, look, I owe the employment I currently have here to this person.
And that's politics.
So that person will always compromise because of that, unless the person in question is unbreakable. He doesn't compromise his policies for anything. Okay. But then he will have issues. Because he's not the only one that has been nominated. Others will frustrate him in the system. And that is how it is everywhere. Every parastatal, every MDA, every security agency, paramilitary or military, there are nominations. Oh, I have also person. So when the time comes, they are going to do anything that suits their agenda because they are the ones who put them there. Okay,
so I think to put a resolution to this matter, we are still going to go back to the issue of constitution. The constitution must be reviewed, along these lines. Because just like I said one time on the show that, most parts of the 1979 constitution was emptied into 1999, and we keep amending. It's archaic. A lot of things have changed. Why should we still, appoint some persons to some offices when we can have elections and make them, credible and then be accountable? So until we begin to review, these constitutions and attack the loopholes, we might not really see, tangible changes in these areas.
Yes, we might not see. And the problem is, who are those who are going to make changes to this constitution?
And that's another problem.
That's the problem. So that's why I said it's more or less like taking 10 steps forward and taking 100 steps backward. This is Nigeria. Before you can have people that will make changes to the constitution that will suit the Nigerian people, that will work for the Nigerian people, because it's one thing to see policy in the United States or maybe the UK. Oh, I think we want to do this in Nigeria and then bring it to Nigeria. But then when you bring here, will it work for the Nigerian people? Has it been tailored to suit the Nigerian system?
We don't even need to go outside of Nigeria to actually
create policies. There are people who have ideas, who can make policies. There are people who suggest things, especially when we analyze and talk about there are suggestions that can actually work for the Nigerian people. But no, they will not take that.
And that's why the Western world will always, I don't know, I pray we get to a point whereby we can actually, come up and then understand the fact that we have the talent, we have the brains. And that's why these people, when they leave Nigeria and they go outside, they do excellently well. They contribute to the development of the economy.
Nigerians don't believe in Nigeria.
That's a problem.
Nigeria does not believe in Nigeria. So it's a problem.
Let me now tell you one thing. But Nigerians believe in Nigerians who are not living in Nigeria.
And that's the problem. And Nigerians who are not living in Nigeria do not trust any Nigerian living in Nigeria. So it's a problem. And I don't see, us scaling through that unless we change our orientation, the way we see things.
And we have to think leadership as well.
We have to think differently. And when you talk about leadership, it's still about reasoning. Nothing. See, we blame the president for many of the things that happen. Not just the president. I'm coming there. We blame the president for most of the problems. 99.9% of the problems Nigerians have is the president. Even if there is no light in your house, it's the president. You cannot buy gas, it's the president. But then, do you know that there are so many people who have been saddled with responsibilities? They are in core positions that they can make changes just by advising the president rightly. That's their job. Tell him the truth. This is what we are facing, and this is the way forward. No, they are praise singers, they are sycophants, they always tell him what he wants to hear. And then when they do that, Nigerians will suffer for it. They are the ones who bear the brunt, because the president will not be in Ibadan and walk on this street. He doesn't know what's going on there. He doesn't know what's going on in Shaki, Okiogun. He doesn't know what is going on in Itori, in Abeokuta. And 99.9% of things that happen in Nigeria will not even make it to the pages of the newspaper. So, How will the president
That's why
get to know?
when I said it has to do with the leadership, I wasn't even talking about the president. Of course, he's at the apex of it all. Yes, he has some responsibilities, he has some roles to play. But what about the people who work for him? Just like you said, I mean, we have the Senate president, we have these people in key positions.
Those ones are too far.
In key
Talk
positions.
about SAs, SSAs. These people see the president
Spokespersons.
more than his family members,
you see,
because they are always there.
You see glaring issues, and
personal
some
assistants.
spokespersons will come and deny, I mean, to the faces of Nigerians. And you are wondering, are you still in this? Is Nigeria a YouTube channel? Because you can, I'm telling you the truth, you can see those things, you know, they're very glaring. And
but then they will say it's not happening.
It.
They will say it's not happening because they know the president is going to read their press release.
Yeah.
So they are always pushing a narrative that they want the president to see. So that is what will make it through the newspaper.
That's
what they
why
are saying.
You can be a good president, but if people that work under you are not ready to make the country a better place,
I was speaking
nothing
to
you
a
do can be seen.
Yeah, I was speaking to a former minister who spoke about the late president, former president Muhammadu Buhari, and said, look, as an individual, as an entity, Muhammadu Buhari is as clean as you would get. I don't know Buhari as a person, but then that's what he said. Only but the people who work around him, they are the problem. And then, if they know that you are a different breed, they will push you out. That's why he did not get his second time as a minister, because they know that this one cannot work with us. So that's the problem. He could not control people around him because he doesn't even know much of the things that, a bulk of the things that happen, he doesn't know. But then these are people that should give him information. But they are starving him of that because that is to their own advantage.
And on that note, we cannot even import a president from heaven. The president has to be from this world.
That's
so
it.
If a president is having issues with people who work under him, so what's the way out? So it boils down to the fact that if we can have working laws, let the judiciary be independent. I mean, let people who make laws, let them make it the right way. Let the president also be firm. Let all the loopholes that we are having, let them be tackled. Yeah. I think that's when we can have I don't even know how we got to this. We got to this thing. We were just talking about
that's the
EFCC raid. Oh, let's talk about the ADC. I have another headline on the Guardian newspaper that says cracks widen ADC coalition as Shekarau allies consider new platform. Over the weekend, I mean, the likes of, Kachiku, the former presidential candidate of the ADC, came out to say that, some signatures were forged, in order for these people to claim ADC as the coalition party. Don't you think that is extreme? I mean, there are other political parties that could be used. A new political party can be created. El-Rufai said, even if ADC does not work, they are going to create a new political party. So why is so much pressure placed on the ADC? And even members that were there, Itatu, are finding it difficult to stay in the party because of, I mean, the tension.
They are being pushed out.
A lot of them are saying, okay, these people just came to hijack our party without clear lines of what they want to do. They are still the same. They are saying that they want to change the country, but we don't even see the change in them, even in what they say. Don't you think it's too much pressure on this ADC?
Maybe Kachiku will not come, online or probably speak to pressmen about this issue if he doesn't have evidences. So automatically, it's not just one evidence. There are a lot of evidences that says what he's saying is right, according to him. But the truth is, if you see people who truly want to change Nigeria, not like they want to make Nigeria their business hub, which is the usual thing. That's the norm we always see. Their political jobbers, what they do is just, if you ask them, what do you do for a living? They will say, I'm a politician. In any country where anybody says, oh, I'm a politician, as their first address, that means that person is an unserious person. Is an unserious being. Automatically, that country is heading for ruin. But the truth is, when you look at the crop of people that have come together, tell me which one of them is not aggrieved by the current situation in the APC. One, Rotimi Amechi claimed that he was pushed out. And of course, he fought to win the tickets against President Bola Tinubu at the primaries. So automatically, he is aggrieved. Nasir El-Rufai is one of those who was meant to be ministers under this administration, but was screened out at the Senate due to security he couldn't get his security clearance, and then he was screened out. So he's aggrieved. Rauf Aregbesola has been at loggerhead with the president for God knows how long. I think even before the election. Okay. He has had issues with the president, and they have not been able to sort it till now. That makes it 3. So he's also aggrieved. David Mark, for a long time, for some time now, has been out of office. He was Senate president for about 20 years or thereabout, and he was kicked out. Even in a state, you could not, secure a ticket to return back to the Senate. So automatically, he is aggrieved in one way or the other. These people are people with personal agendas. They have personal vendetta against the government, and of course against their political party where they left. So regardless of if they came from the APC or from the PDP, they are all aggrieved. They have something that is you see, it's not easy for you to be on the table. You are eating, and someone suddenly says you have to stand up because someone else wants to sit down. So automatically you will be sad that, oh, you have taken food away from me. And Nigeria is the food they have all been feasting on. And if anyone says, no, just move aside a little bit, let some other people come and eat, and then you are angry, automatically you know that those people are not doing that in the interest of the country. Now, if I'm to put it this way, if Nigeria is truly going to go forward, you are not going to recycle the same set of leaders. And if you are going to bring any of them in, it has to be someone that has a clean record, that has always been consistent with performance.
Do we have someone that has a clean record?
I don't think so. That's the problem. Because when you look at the current set of people, Aregbesola, for example, was governor in Osun State for 8 years. At some point, paid half salaries to people in that bad economy. Paid half salaries to Osun workers for years before he left office. That is one. When you talk about Rotimi Amechi, he was Minister for Transportation. What changed? Did you see? Can you say you saw in the Ministry of Transportation?
Speaking of Rotimi Amechi, I think he said in an interview recently that if he's given the ticket, he's going to defeat President Bola Tinubu because he knows his weaknesses. And if he gets a shot at the ticket, he's going to win the election without any issue.
How? See, the only people who can say they know Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's political gimmicks, Aregbesola should be one of them. He has not even come out to say he knows it. El-Rufai, for example, has been a long-time ally, but did Asiwaju show him exactly how he plays his politics? I don't think so.
But let's not forget the fact that we are not in that political scene with these people. Anything can happen. Maybe they know things that we do not know. But then the build-up to 2027, what I'm going to say about the ADC before we wrap up is the fact that if care is not taken, ADC will get to a point whereby the cracks in that party will be worse than the ones we have in the PDP. And at the end of the day, to be unfit for 2027 elections.
See, there will be cracks even before the election.
There are already cracks.
I will tell you why. The ADC will not fly. The reason is we have too many bosses in the same bus. So automatically there will be crisis. Take, for example, Atiku Abubakar has delayed his registration to be a member of the ADC because he feels there's a chance he will return back to PDP. So, and of course, he feels there's a chance he will go to another political party. So he's sitting on the fence as we speak.
All right,
so
I think
things will unfold even before 2027.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to leave it this morning. Thank you for being a part of the show. We do hope that ADC can settle all of their internal crises and, of course, do a build-up before the 2027 elections. Thank you for being a part of Headlines Analysis this morning. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakwa. I'm saying good morning. Please stay with us. Big story. We'll come up soon.
Ever dreamed of creating the next viral series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV. Make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to the big story on Daybreak Live here on Dominion Television. I am your host, Samson Balogan. Today, we turn our focus to Osun State, where the political atmosphere is already warming up despite the 2026 governorship election still being over a year away. For subtle alliances to bold declarations to stage, the stage is being set. And the early maneuvering of political heavyweights is beginning to shape the conversation about who might occupy the governor's office, Government House in Osogbo, come next session, which is just after the election. Now, Osun State has rich history of fiercely contested elections and political surprises, and 2026 promises to be no different to what we currently see. Already, emerging aspirants are testing the waters, building networks, gauging grassroots support, and crafting narratives that could resonate with the electorate. But beyond the personalities, there are the questions of governance, party dynamics, and the issues that will matter most to the people of Osun. So, in this edition of The Big Story, we unpack the strategies, the stakes, and the silent battles being fought long before the official campaign season begins. Yes, that's the idea. The campaign has not even started. But when you look at the landscape in Osun as we speak, people are beginning to mix. Consultations are going on. Permutations are going on. Take, for example, recently, Governor Ademola Adeleke in Osun State was seen obnobbing with the president, the vice president, Of course, there were insinuations that he would love to join the APC and contest under the political party. But then, as we count down, things changed. There are insinuations that the president said, look, if you want to be a part of this political party, you have to go to Osun State and be a member. Go and join. They come from the PDP. And then you will fight for the ticket with other qualified candidates in the APC. But Governor Ademola Adeleke supposedly said no. That, look, if I'm coming to your political party with my people, you give me the ticket automatically. But the APC doesn't want to do that. And if they will do, will the people of Osun vote for APC in the next election, judging by the antecedent of Rauf Aregbesola in that state? And of course, Gboyega Oyetola, who came after Rauf Aregbesola. What happened? Why did Gboyega Oyetola lose the election to Ademola Adeleke, who people popularly call the dancing senator, now the dancing governor? These are things we will look at this morning. And if it goes on, how will we address the grassroots governance in crisis? And how do we unpack the local government's power tussle in Osun State? Do not forget that when we talk about local government, there are still issues yet to be solved. Take, for example, there are insinuations that allocations from the state government, from the Federal Executive Council, has not been released to the Osun people. Then, how do you want governance at the grassroots to take effect if allocations are being withheld? Also, the politics of withheld council funds, implications for governance and development in Osun State. What this means is that there will be less development at local council areas. If there is no fund, automatically there will not be projects. But then you also ask questions, do these local government chairmen in Osun State also have autonomy, just like they do not have it in other states? Oyo State, for example, there is no local government autonomy. Osun State, no local government autonomy. Lagos, well, whether they have local government autonomy or they do not have, it is being played somehow in Lagos. At least we see their local government chairman commissioning large projects. I saw one about 2 weeks ago who commissioned an hospital, classrooms, big rooms. But if that is happening in Lagos, can we transfer that into other states? At least if they don't have that kind of autonomy they are looking for, at least they have access to funds. They can construct buildings, bridges, roads, major projects, just like the local government of old will do. But in this situation, if it continues this way, where Ademola Adeleke emerge victorious in the next election come 2026, what are the likelihood that even if he tries to move to another political party, his people who currently see him as their leader in Osun State will be able to follow him into the APC? That and more we are going to discuss on today's edition of The Big Story. Let's go on a quick break. And when we return, the show continues. We'll be back after this time out.
Ever dreamed of creating the next viral series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV, make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
welcome back from that short break. The show is still The Big Story on Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television. Thank you for being a part of the show so far. You can link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dominion Broadcast, and of course, drop your comment there. We'll surely take them before the show runs out. I'm joined in the studio this morning by Jacob Olaoluwa Adeshino, who is an historian, researcher, social critic, former student leader, and co-convener of the Youth Vanguard for National Development. Today, he will give us a deep insight into what's shaping Osun's political landscape ahead of 2026. Jacob Olaoluwa, good to have you in the studio.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. And I'm happy to be here.
All right. Let's go straight to Osun State this morning. Yeah. A lot is happening in Osun State. There are permutations and combinations ahead of the 2026 gubernatorial election in that state. Now, Governor Ademola Adeleke at some point allegedly tried to cross carpet from the PDP to the APC and met resistance, especially from party faithfuls who felt that it's going to hinder them from also contesting favorably to be governor of Osun State come 2026. What would you say about the side move? Did it even happen at all? Or was it just a hoax created by some people just to, create flame where there is no fire ahead of 2026 election?
Well, thank you for that. I would say there was a move because I am not an insider and I don't want to cast a shallow perspective on politics in Osun, especially when it concerns Governor Ademola Adeleke. Well, what we hear is that there was a move, like Governor Adeleke, what we all know before the 2022 election was that we all know the relationship between Governor Adeleke and his brother, the father of David Adeleke, and then the relationship continued to go stronger every now and then. And then we also understand the fact that PDP is almost a dead party in Nigerian politics. And
almost a dead party?
Almost a dead party.
That's a bold claim.
But
some PDP members will not agree with you.
Yeah, look, in some states, you can say we still have some sprinkle of presence of PDP in some states, like Oyo State, and also in Osun State. And go to any other state, whether in the north or here in the south, where you will see that PDP is almost a dead party. And then everybody is politicians are, to some extent, they don't mind. They are not party. They are not
loyal to the party.
To the party, and they always look for a way to move whenever there is a problem. We have seen that over the years in PDP. Well, even the party leaders are not even concerned about what is going on in the party. They always want to feed for the stomach and what they can also achieve. In PDP, presently in Osun State, like it is at the federal level, we all know that PDP is no longer the party we used to know in the time past. And then Governor Adeleke was also looking for a way out of that problem. And then we hear that there was a move between the former governor of Osun State, Chief Bisi Akande, and Adeleke himself wanting to move. And then we all also see that the relationship between the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Ademola Adeleke, whatever was the issue before the 2022 election has been smoother. And then there's a way, there's that relationship, Adeleke wanted to pounce on that relationship to move into the APC. But then we have people in APC who are also just for the tickets.
Are there stronger candidates than Governor Ademola Adeleke in Osun State to be governor come 2026?
Well,
or some candidates who are as strong as Ademola Adeleke?
Well, I am not sure about that. I am not sure there are stronger candidates considering what Ademola Adeleke has been able to achieve in the last 3 years. But what we know is that there is no strong relationship between Ademola Adeleke and the leader of the party in Osun and the former governor, Agbeyiga Oyetola. There is no good relationship, and then we also know that Oyetola has so many mentees in Osun State, especially the person we know in the recent time is Bola Oyebameji, the former Minister of Commissioner of Finance in Osun from Mikiri. He's a strong candidate and with wealth of experience, even more than Ademola Adeleke when it comes to public service and in the business world, in the corporate world. Oyebanji, to some extent, is better than Ademola Adeleke. But considering, he was just a commissioner And then Ademola Adeleke has been governor of Osun State for the past 3 years. He has achievement to his name, unlike Oyebanji. So people like that are people who are willing to give Ademola Adeleke one for his money. And then the common saying in that party presently is that Ademola Adeleke, if he joins APC, does not have automatic tickets. And that is problematic to someone like Governor Ademola Adeleke, who is a chairman, who is one of the most important person in PDP presently in Osun State, moving to a party where you have to wrestle for the ticket again. And that was the problem which Ademola Adeleke has in that party.
Now, if he has so much goodwill, and the people of Osun love him, why does he want to move from one political party to the other? Does it mean that the PDP is not strong enough to push him to win the next election?
Well, there are some issues we also have to consider, because these issues are in perspective. You know, when you are in a party, you consider what is your relationship with the federal government is. We are not seeing any traces that PDP is going to take over the presidency comes in 2027, and then you also want to be in the good book of the president for your state. Apart from the federal allocation, there are some internal politics that also go into this. And then when you know you don't have any structure at the central level, then you also want to look for, you know, it's a situation where if you can build them, you join them. And that is the situation. Yes, he has people in Osun State, but people in Osun State are not enough when it comes to internal politics and governance. You need someone, you need ideas, you need people who are interested in your activities, in your programs, in your policies, who can also support it from the federal level. But if you're not getting that from the federal level, you also think about what you can get from the state level may not be enough.
Okay, now, very quickly, how might the internal politics within major parties like PDP and APC influence the emergence of their flag bearers ahead of 2026 election in Osun State?
Yeah, considering we all know, except we want to lie to ourselves or we want to pretend to ourselves, that Ademola Adeleke was able to win the 2022 election based on the fact that there was internal rancor in the APC. In the
APC?
Yes, especially when the former governor...
So if there was no crisis in the APC, you probably wouldn't have won.
He wouldn't have won. Although there are some other allegations against the then governor, Gboyega Oyetola, because to some extent, I will also say Gboyega Oyetola belongs to the crops of politicians who always emerge from Lagos, apart from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Look at them all. Fashola, Ambode, Sanwo-Olu, they are technocrats. Unlike normal traditional politicians we know, same as Gboyega Oyetola. It is Gboyega Oyetola that actually started working. He worked even after losing the election. You know, I know about the Ilobu Road. He tied the Ilobu Road after he had lost the election.
Even after the election?
After the election. So he's not the kind of politician. He's not the kind of politician.
He's not a traditional politician.
Who put crowds on, like Ademola Adeleke. Look at them in Ede and that's Osun Western Interior District. They are there. They have their influence. His father was a politician, his brother was a politician, and then Ademola himself entered into politics of Osun in 2016, if I am not mistaken, 2016, 2017. And the vote that got him the senatorial ticket was the same party vote. I can say it anyway, so the same party vote. People did not consider what is bringing on board, but because people felt like his brother was maltreated in APC, he was killed and that, and then because of that, and then his brother wanted to join the APC, and some people fizzled him out of APC, and then because of that, we also have to compensate his brother, who was good to the people of Osun State, especially Osun State, West Central, and let us give him this. That was how he was able to win the election. And considering his time in the Senate, look at what was the achievement of Ademola Adeleke when he was in the Senate. There was none. There was none.
You're saying he didn't achieve anything as senator?
As a senator, no bill to his name, no achievements.
What was he doing there?
Yeah, he was just there. When you join police for the first time, especially when you are not prepared for it, that's kind of things that happen to you.
Politician by accident.
Politician by accident. You can say that again, politician by accident. But then, since he came to power as governor of Osun State, 4 years after he lost the election in 2018, he has been able to actually improve himself technically. And then in 2022, since then, we've seen some leadership. Although even till now, we have not been able to see groundbreaking policies or developments or ideas that Ademola Adeleke has been able to introduce since he became governor. But what we can see is that he pounced on the deficiency of the APC. You know, APC is run an elite or capitalist government where you bring in policy, you know, White Elephant Project and some other things. Because I also believe that you cannot develop a state like Osun State if you continue to feed the stomach and not do some other project that will actually transform Osun State. Now, look at it. In the last 3 years, how many foreign investors has Adeleke been able to bring to Osun State? Little. You know,
compared to Gboyega Oyetola when he was governor.
Yeah, compared to
what's the difference if we juxtapose?
Yes, the issue between Gboyega Oyetola and Ademola Adeleke is like some other people who also came from Lagos. They think about what are the projects we can do that can attract investors, because it's all about capitalist orientation, capitalist ideal about development and all. But Gboyega Oyetola, that is about Gboyega Oyetola. But when it comes to Adeleke, he realized that the government in Osun State is still local. It's still at the, and then you talk about it. Osun State still remain a civil servant state. So you have to fend for the civil servants. You have to fend for the pensioners. And these are the people at the local level who are ready to vote for, who are ready to actually do whatever you need for you. And that's the reason Ademola Adeleke is moving towards those people, paying their salary regularly, unlike what we had during the period of Ajibeshola when they were being given half salary. Oyetola came in, and we see how some people who are still calling for their pension for over 5 or 10 years have not been paid. But Ademola Adeleke saw this thing as a way in which to actually sell himself to the people. And since then, he has not defaulted in paying the salaries of the people of Osun State, and has been paying some of the backlog of this half salary. And these are what the people want, because Osun's policies still remain at the local. People still want the money. They want to go to the market and see something to buy. They want money to do some of all these things. They don't mind. Some people don't mind about, you know, roads, capital projects, what will attract investors. And some people, you know, there is a gap of knowledge. There is a poverty of knowledge between the elites and the commoners.
I was about to ask you about the people of Osun State. Do you think as we speak, they are already paying attention to the politics being played in Osun State? Or do you think it's just going to be internal politics, and then whoever plays the best internal politics in Osun is going to win the election come 2026?
To be honest with you and to be frank with you, you know, in Nigeria we still play the opposition politics rather than good governance policies in Osun State. We still have some youth who have access to internet, who are always on X every now and then on Facebook to see what development is in other states, especially in Lagos State, and what the governor of Ekiti State and other Bago and some other states are doing presently in Nigeria. But some people are still faithful to PDP. Some people, you know, are still faithful to their parties regardless of what is going on. You know, people try to turn away, ignore developments in their states. Sometimes people tend to actually say, no, I don't care whether APC government are doing something good. Some people say, I don't care whether PDP government is doing something good. So that party loyalty rather than good governance is one of the issues we have even among the youth. We feel that this is my candidate, this is the person I want, regardless of whether it's good or not. This person, we saw that even in the 2023 general election, presidential election between the obedient movement and what the people call the Agbado, the Ronu Caucus. Do you understand? We have people like that also who do not care about your track record, who don't care about what you are putting into the state. They also want to, this is my party, this is someone I want, this is someone I feel I can plug myself into and benefit economically from these people, regardless of what they are doing to the state. You know, people tend to play the politics of, well, I am the state, and whatever favors me favors the state. I don't care about what other people want. And because of that, even despite the fact that we have a large number of youth in Osun State who also understand what politics, what good governance is in other states, they still want to plug themselves into the politics of opposition. And that's the reason we have poverty, we have a gap in knowledge between the intellectuals, or between the elites, those who are educated, and those who are not educated. People feel like, well, the whole essence of governance is just for us to get our salary and go. No development, no investors, and people do not understand that until you have investors trooping in, whether local investors or foreign investors trooping in, that's when you can have employment. Government cannot always create this employment. And that is the problem we are presenting in Osun.
Now, basically, historically, Osun elections have seen surprise breakthroughs. Could an underdog aspirant disrupt the established political order in Osun State come 2026?
Well, I cannot. I believe the other don't can obstruct that, but presently in Osun State, I don't see anything.
You don't see anyone?
I don't see anyone
who can
coming.
Break that?
I don't see anyone can be. These policies in Osun is still between PDP and APC, regardless of what is coming up. And then APC winning in Osun State come 2026 will depend on what is going on at the federal level. And PDP winning in Osun State will depend on if the people still have resentment against APC for like what's it called 12 years of what people consider misrule in Osun State, from Arabia Shala to Gboyega Oyetola, what people consider the anti-people policies of these two governors in Osun State. And we are going to see whether the people of Osun State are not about resentment against these two candidates, APC generally, because whether the president is doing economic policies and reforms in Osun, generally in Nigeria, whether it is about the tax reform or whatever is going on, people don't want to care about those things.
Okay, how difficult will it be for the APC to present a strong candidate that is capable of dislodging Demola Adeleke right there in Osun State?
Like I said earlier, I presently, apart from Bola Oyebanji, who has a wealth of experience both in the corporate world and the political scene to his name, I have not seen someone
strong enough
who is popular enough to dislodge.
How about the return of Gboyega Oyetola?
Well, I don't see that coming. I don't see that coming. You know, I think it is, because the body language of Gboyega Oyetola in recent years, I think he has not even been involved in the internal, I think is
the grassroots politics.
And that's one of the problems with Gboyega Oyetola. Unlike his mentor, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, Gboyega Oyetola run politics of the elite. Unlike it is these mistakes of the APC that people like Ademola Adeleke pounce on and say, you know, governors is still at the grassroots, and we still have to penetrate the grassroots, and that is the problem. APC, I don't see the coming of Gboyega Oyetola, and the candidates APC presents, we rely so much on what the presidential is doing at the federal level. That's what they rely on.
Talking about what the presidency is doing at the federal level, given the challenges Osun faces, economic, infrastructural, and social, do you see any signs that the coming contest will be issue-driven rather than personality-driven contest in the election?
Considering the poverty of knowledge in Osun State when it comes to policy and good governance in Osun State, you know, people tend to believe that good governance is all about paying salaries. No, do you understand? It's going to be a personal issue. I don't believe this is going, because if it will be on issue-driven campaign, we will have started seeing that we are just less than 12 months to the election now. Now, presently, even among the youth, it's still about personality. It's about the personality, and I think that will be the issues come 2023 as well.
Do you see that as a problem for the people of Osun
Yeah,
State?
it is. Yeah, in the long run, it is going to be an issue for the development of Osun State. You know, people considering personality over issues. What should be the issues in Osun State? I think Osun, like Oyo State, also have an arable land good enough, big enough to feed the whole of Southwest. But we are not seeing that. We have a governor in Niger State, Governor Bago, who is doing a lot with the support of the presidency. That's the kind of development we want in Osun State, but we are not seeing that, and it's unfortunate. And when it comes to infrastructure, and people are happy. People of Osun are happy. People referring to them as a civil servant state. And these are issues who people feel unconcerned about. Osun should be competing with others. So Osun has resources. Apart from the mineral resources which belong to the federal government, look at the just concluded Osun Shogbo Festival.
Some consider Osun to be the poorest in the Southwest. Is that right?
Absolutely. Poorest when it comes to ideas. Poorest when it comes to infrastructural development. But when it comes to resources, Osun tends to be one of the richest in the Southwest, considering what they have as mineral resources, what they have as cultural, cultural heritage. They have the biggest resources in Southwest, but they are the poorest. That tells you about the leadership of Osun over the years, and the orientation and the lack of exposure of the people of Osun when it comes to policies and when it comes to governance.
And what do you think the Osun people can do to break the barrier, to bring on board an innovative leader that understands how to drive Osun forward?
Well, I think one of the issues that can actually help Osun is this issue of local government autonomy. I can't imagine, I don't know any local government, out of the 30 local government in Osun that is collecting less than 500 million per month. But we can hardly see a project of 5 million in any local government in Osun per month.
Where is the money going?
Where is the money going? That's the question. Where is the money going? You know, and that's the reason why governor forums are actually fighting the presidency against this Lagos, what's it called, local government autonomy. And you should consider every state wants to be like Lagos, but they don't want to take the ideas of Lagos. One of the greatest achievements of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Lagos State was the local government autonomy. You know, even creating 37 LCDA from the total 20 local governments, making 37 local government and LCDA combined. And that's how development was able. People were able to penetrate the local areas, and that was how Lagos was developed. You understand? But people want something. You see local governments, what's it called? You see governor of Osun competing with local government chairman in Lagos when it comes to infrastructural development. And that kind of belittle a state like Osun State with enormous resources and what's it called, cultural heritage that are good enough to fetch them more.
State governor competing with local government chairman in Lagos State.
In Lagos State,
in terms of infrastructure.
In terms of infrastructure, you see what's it called, local government chairman in Osun building big hospitals and construction road, and then governors of Osun cannot even construct like 5 kilometers of road. You know, sometimes, you know, I went to Osun recently and I saw some of the roads that were constructed when in the first 200 days of Ademola Adeleke, and they are already in
shambles.
Shambles, and then you consider, so where is the money? You allocated a lot of money for this project. Same thing with Oyetola, same thing with Agbeshala. You know, we have issues like Bono, and at the end of the day, after like 3 seasons of rain, the roads are not good again. And then when you go to Lagos, you see local government chairman constructing good roads, infrastructure, schools, like the Badagry local government chairman. What he launched before he left office recently. You see that, and you find a similar project in Osun State, and you can't find one, and it is a shame that you can't find one.
Jacob Adeshino, have you been to the north? Do you see their quality of roads? What is wrong with us in the Southwest? Well,
it is really, I say this every time, and sometimes I'm ashamed of saying this thing to people, even to the intellectual, the so-called intellectuals, the so-called youth. I'm always ashamed of saying this, you know. See, apart from good infrastructure in the north compared to what is in the south, because these people understand that, well, we don't have the resources. But the little time we can actually use, little money we can get from these people in the south, you know, starting from the 1914, I'm sorry for taking you back to history, because when you check the
1914 amalgamation,
when you check the amalgamation document, I think it was in page 4 of the amalgamation document. Well, it was written boldly. It was written boldly by Lord Lugard that the reason, one of the greatest reasons for the amalgamation was that the British government cannot continue to sponsor the northern part of Nigeria. That it is between the amalgamation was between a rich spinster and a poor bachelor. North was referred to as a bachelor, poor bachelor, and a rich spinster. So it shows that the reason for the amalgamation was to bring resources from the south to take care of the north. And that is what is still playing out today. Because the northern oligarchy realize that they have limited resources. These resources they are getting is also from the north, although they are also not to some extent, you know, when you consider the number of people who are still poor in the north. But when it comes to infrastructure, they are doing well, more than the so-called, the intellectual in the south, the so-called educated in the south. You know, people, I've seen senators, honorable, selling slots given to them because they needed the money. They will tell you, we need the money. And you see, and you cry and say, why don't we have people, people of the Southwest in the Army, in the EFCC, CBN, and then you see, you go to CBN and you see people speaking Hausa.
Slots are being sold.
Are being sold by our people in the Southwest, by our people in the southern part of Nigeria, even to the Northerners, because those people understand what politics is. They understand these are the people they can always go and meet whenever it is time for election, and they will rally on and give them funds to campaign. But here in the Southwest, you see people actually laundering money out of the country. You see people, you know, the idea that there should be a gap between the rich and the poor, so that when election comes, whenever we throw comes at them, they will come to us. I think that is a problem with the southern politicians. They feel like they need to widen the gap. They have weaponized poverty in this country, especially people from the southern Nigeria. So it is so wide to the extent that whenever election comes, they give, 2 decades of rice, and people start rushing, and that is the way they win election in the south part of Nigeria.
Jacob Olaoluwa Adesina, thank you for being a part of the show this morning.
Thank you so much.
It has been a wonderful session with you.
Thank you.
Jacob Olaoluwa Adesina is an historian, researcher, social critic, former student leader, and co-convener of the Youth Vanguard for National Development. Of course, he has been able to give us insights into what's shaping Osun's political landscape ahead of 2026 election. Now, as Osun edges closer to 2026, the political game is not just about ambition. It's about vision, credibility, and the ability to connect with the people's needs and aspirations. The early maneuvering we see today may well determine tomorrow's reality. We'll keep our eyes on every move, every shift, and every voice that seeks to shape the state's future. Until next time, tomorrow, on The Big Story, I'm Samson Balogun, reminding you that in politics, the countdown often starts long before the clock says so. Thank you for being a part of the show. We'll be back after this time out.
Ever dreamed of creating the next virus series or telling powerful stories on the big screen? This summer, your passion for TV can become a reality. Our TV Practical Summer Class is calling all future scriptwriters, producers, directors, video editors, reporters, news editors, and on-air personalities. Get hands-on training from industry professionals. Learn to shoot with professional cameras, master editing software, and produce your own content from start to finish. This isn't just a class. It's your launch pad. Don't just watch TV, make it. Enroll now. Spaces are limited. Visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng or call the number 0706 777 9435 0706 777 9435. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television. Thank you for being a part of the show so far. You can link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. Now it's time for Trend Watch, where we beam our searchlight on happenings around the world, especially on social media. Yemi Adilakun stay here with her. We'll be making sense of stories right here. And, you know, it's really interesting to see that the story eventually developed. Some actually thought it was going to end that way. Well, there was, a few months ago, a core member came out to criticize the government on so many things, especially the president, that some things are not right in the country. And then some, you know, applauded her for doing the right thing, while some, you know, she received backlash from some people. Yeah. But just a few hours ago, it came to the open that discharge certificate, NYSC discharge certificate was not given to her. And then she came out to say, look, they have not given me my discharge certificate. But then there was a reaction from the NYSC. I think you saw that.
Definitely, I saw that. And NYSC said that, that was not intentional. Contrary to what a lot of Nigerians are thinking, that because of the comments she made, and that's why they won't give her the certificate. NYSC said, she missed April biometrics. And then she's part of over 300 other core members, that were not given their certificate based on the fact that
it's not just her.
Definitely, based on the fact that they either missed maybe 1 or 2 biometrics for maybe any of the months during their service year, and so our service year was extended by 2 months. And of course, she went there on the day of the graduation, or whatever you want to call it, graduation or passing out. POP, definitely. And then she got there, and then, she went there to collect ours, and she was not given. So it's an issue. She's saying something different. NYSC is saying something different. So I think Serap even said recently, I read a story yesterday where Serap said that, the president should step in. It's a minor issue. Why should the president of the country step in this matter? There are other bodies, other individuals that can step in to ensure that, the public, is clarified. We get to know what is really happening. Okay, did she really miss one of those, biometrics? And according to Rai, she also said something very important, that she did not miss April biometrics intentionally. She went there on that day, but the LGI did not allow her to do the April biometrics. And then she said, in her words, I'm quoting her now, she said the LGI told her to get out of her office. So we don't know. Do we have witnesses that can actually come out to say
I think she
this
should be able
actually
to
happened?
Present witnesses to back that up, because that's a bold claim.
It's a bold claim.
Nobody has the right to tell you to get out when it's your civic right or responsibility to perform some duties, and you are there to perform it, and someone says, oh, you cannot do this. Why? The question should be, why can't I do it? But then it's a challenge, and I feel like we put too much importance to some petty issues in Nigeria.
It's a minor issue.
Why should Serap call on the president to step in when there is a director general for the NYSC, when we have the Ministry of Interior who can actually come on board and say, look, and we have ministers too who actually, in one way or the other, are connected to this issue, and they can always step in and say, oh, this is what should be done. But in the long run, I think the fact that she did not do, she was unable to capture for that month, that says, oh, automatically, because it's not just other issue.
That's in the law of NYSC. If you miss any month, they will extend your...
Now, the investigation should now be centered around the fact that, was she deliberately sent out of that building just because this could happen?
Or she didn't even go at all?
At all. So that should be the area of investigation, because that's a bold claim, and whoever did that should be brought to book, should be brought to justice. You cannot disenfranchise people all in the name of you are in a position to make them suffer. No. Regardless of what she did, I think at the point it just went under the carpet, and nobody talks about it anymore. And I feel like it is time for other agencies to come on board, especially civil society groups, when they are commenting on issues like this.
International bodies are already, speaking on the matter.
When they are commenting on these issues, I think they should be holistic about it. There should be thorough investigation. Don't just jump on only what that person said. Have they actually tried to contact the NYSC, the person in question? Was this true or not? If there are evidences that it was true, then they should be the ones to bear the brunt of whatever it is happening, and then discharge certificate should just be given to her and let her go. Because I don't see anything wrong in what she did then, just the fact that she was still a core member. And it's a note you swore, under the rain, under the sun. You are always loyal to Nigeria. You cannot come out and say, hey.
Speaking of how to handle the matter, I think, a lot of core members actually celebrate, on X yesterday, I saw a lot of them, they came out to support her, to say, online protest majorly, to say, okay, you have to issue a certificate to Ash is the reason why we are collecting 77,000 naira, and of course you understand them. And apart from that, I think politicians as well, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar released a statement, Omoyele Sowore also released a statement, a lot of politicians released a statement. So apart from talking on X, releasing statements concerning the matter, can they find a way to actually make sure that, okay, maybe they'll go to where she served, and try to, just like you said, do a follow-up, investigate the matter. Did she fail to perform her duties, in that month, April, or she was denied the right to actually, carry out her biometrics? These are the things that we want to know. So let's not put the public in a situation whereby we just speculate all the time that maybe because of the comment she made concerning the government or concerning Lagos. I remember some of the things she said. She said Lagos State is dirty. And of course, a lot of persons came out to say, you know, you don't say that, you're a core member, this and that. And some persons came out to celebrate it. So in all of this, let's have a conclusion. Let's come to a place where we can know what really happened.
And also, the general public should note that you don't just comment on things just because you saw them on social media. Try as much as possible to, you know, investigate and see if it is true or not.
Definitely. Because we have a situation where NYC members are already taking, core members are taking issues to court. Look at the case that happened just recently. Two core members, they said they cannot wear trousers on camp, they want to wear skirts. And they took the matter to court, and the court ruled in their favor. They even collected 500,000 each, even though they wanted to collect 10 million. So this is Nigeria.
Nigeria is a good place to be, actually, because sometimes when stories unfold.
Sometimes I feel Nigeria is a YouTube channel.
Okay, we have to go. Our time is fast spent on the show. We say thank you for being a part of the show so far. Then we have to go. But then before we go, an early morning walk is a blessing for the whole day. So every morning you wake up, try to do something to exercise your body so you can stay healthy. Samson Balogun is my name. Until tomorrow when we shall be meeting you again, I say keep being good out there, keep being safe. Bye for now.
Well, thank you for being a part of the show. Do what? Join us tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And before I go, today is Monday, the beginning of a new week. Ensure that you take good decisions that can help shape your future. My name is Oluwayemi Adela. I'm saying good morning.